Kawakami was talking to Wiggins, and he's like, "Gee, these guys fucking just keep coming. This is crazy." And, the Warriors do not love putting people on pedestal or whatever. Like to get their respect, it's like clearly these guys have their respect, and that's hard to do.
They don't think
it's
they're
like
fakes.
Kawhi, LeBron. Last year, though, they swept them. Like they're like Jokic, this guy. If he had some help, he's sweet. It's a rare. Like they think Harden and CP3. They don't take those guys seriously at all. And they're already like, Jesus, these guys.
Yeah.
So Kings, you'll have that this offseason.
Have you seen Vlade and Page at these games?
They were there week 1. Or, I mean, not week 1, but game 1.
Isn't it kind of funny, like you were the GM, and now you're just a fan? I mean, probably team ambassador or whatever, Vlade.
Weird transition, especially
Vlade
if everyone kind of
work together. Vlade did say, basically, if I don't take this team to the playoffs, you can fire me. So I think it was probably a good relationship.
Page's kid goes to Jesuit, right?
Yeah, we did. Or
Stanford now?
Finishing up.
He's a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Like, do you count Bobby and Doug Christie if they are on the team payroll still? Probably.
Doug is on the staff.
On the bench. Yeah, on the bench. Bobby coaches the team in Stockton, right? So it's like, yeah, I mean, they're coming. They're coming.
I texted Doug the other day, and he texted me back probably 3 hours before game 4. He's like, "You coming to the game?" I was like, "Nah, no tickets." He's like, "All right then."
I see what you did there. No tickets, but totally fucking open and free and not really doing shit.
I'm within I could get there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you need anything? Can I drop something off?
Would be great to see you.
Tell Bobby I say hi. Did you always ask Mike Brown about me? We're buddies. It's been incredible. I think it's been the coolest. I mean, the television ratings. It's been as good of a television sports non-football since Tiger won the Masters. I've been glued every dribble.
The games have been incredible too, right? That's part of it. Without even how good the games are, it's just we were texting yesterday. Just the matchup itself was fun before the series started, and then the games have been way better than I expected them to be. They've been incredible games.
I don't think there's anything cooler in a basketball game, especially a big marquee living up to the hype basketball game. Under 24 seconds left, the team down 1 or 2 gets the ball. That is just that doesn't really happen in football. I guess you get a field goal, but it's not the same. It's just the coolest. And a lot, I would say,
it takes longer in football. This is all right, we got a timeout, and then in 30 seconds they're running the play.
And the majority of the time, we say 50-50, it gets fucked up, so it doesn't flow right.
Yeah, but
quarter of the time, it's
two games
sweet.
In this series end with buzzer-beating, game-winning threes miss, right? Wiggins in game 1 and Barnes in game 4.
If you watch Draymond postgame, he talked a lot about
podcast.
The postgame podcast, which was he must haul ass home because he was home. That podcast was up quick. He talked about he took responsibility for the Steph screw-ups. But he also said something pretty interesting. He's like, basically, he just went to bat immediately for Steph. Everyone's calling him Chris Webber 2.0, which you can't. Steph's got 4 championships, so even if he did fuck up, they have nothing in common. Then he said the one thing that Steph was getting a lot of shit for is why did he shoot so fast?
Yeah.
After the screw-up?
Right.
And he said, one thing I wish I would have done is, as he's been a guy that screwed up before, you're rattled a little bit. And he's like, he's not rattled I'm choking the game or I'm choking our dynasty, but you're just, it fucks with your mind immediately right away. And he's like, I should have said something to kind of calm everyone down, or I should have played a bigger role. We didn't want to bring up another defender. It's why I didn't do a pick and roll, but I should have kind of ad-libbed when I just can kind of tell he was rattled from the sense of I'm a fucking idiot, right? It's just, you're just not, and I was like, I didn't even think about that, but it's genius. Draymond is.
But I don't know what you say would be my question to Draymond, because they show the huddle and stuff's I'm good, but you're not good, right? You're not. You're right. How could you be? Good. That's a great point. I did not think of that either.
He said,
I don't know how to go.
Well, he's like, when you just let him go ISO kind of in that situation, there's just if you kind of run a play, which ideally they want to keep in Steph's hand, there's kind of a flow and you just kind of forget it. but like he's dribbling, it's in his mind. I don't know.
Here's why I would defend Steph on that play, though. He got open at the free throw line. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Well, Draymond says he hits that shot 85% of the time.
So he hits the shot, they're up 3. It doesn't matter that there's still 20 seconds left. You know, like that's where I would say Steph got open. He got by the defender and he got open. So I don't know what he's supposed to do. Not take the shot?
No, I guess you take the shot.
Dribble around, get fouled. I mean, you could argue don't take the shot. You could, I guess.
You just dribble and just shoot a shitty shot with like 4 seconds left. By the time it hits, they only get it with a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm just saying I get why you don't. I get why you take that. I do. It's not crazy to me that he took that shot, but maybe it's why he missed. Because you're right. How is he not absolutely killing himself? Like, we're about to go down 3-1. Harrison Barnes is going to hit a game winner against us because I just did that.
I do think under no circumstance, I've seen a lot of people. Now, big picture, if that timeout had ultimately cost them and like Draymond leaves and they trade Clay and it's like, God, that was kind of the moment. I get it, but it's like, I'm sorry. I'm watching the game thinking, I think Steph has talked about like, he's like 10th best player of all time. Are we sure he's not closer to like top 5 than the way he gets discussed?
Yeah, Doris actually said during the game, like, I know it's crazy. I think he's still underrated. I'm like, you know what, Doris? I think you're right.
Well, like, LeBron is widely considered, beside Nick Wright, the second best player.
Beside who?
Well, Nick Wright considers him better than Michael Jordan. I think he's just
gotcha.
by
Beside
himself.
Got it. Yeah.
He's the only human alive.
Yeah.
And obviously, like LeBron and Bronny, who has his own commercial now. With LeBron's not even in it. You see that commercial? Like LeBron doesn't even make cameos. It's just Bronny.
No, what's the commercial for?
Like NBA playoffs where you get in a car. Similar to their old commercial where they were both in it, but now it's just, keep waiting for LeBron to show up and it's just Bronny. But I'm watching thinking, and I'm not trying to shit on LeBron, but like they both got 4. I guess LeBron has another MVP or 2, a couple MVPs. But like, is the gap that big between those two guys?
It's hard because we saw LeBron, even as a young player, carry a team. Right.
Well, Steph did that.
Yeah, but it took Steph a little longer.
I'm not trying to say Steph is better than him or even they're equals. I just wonder, is it closer? Like, I was thinking about the next kind of tier guy is like that, kind of Magic Bird, the bigs, and then like that Kobe Duncan. And most basketball people like put Duncan above Kobe, but they're just kind of like synonymous with each other. Mm-hmm. Is Steph better than both those two guys?
Yeah, I think he is.
So
I put him ahead of those two.
So it's like Steph's 6th right now? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he was consistently better. I came around a lot on Kobe, but Kobe's got a lot of like,
Yeah, a lot of stuff went sideways because of Kobe.
And Duncan was the opposite. He was more like all the team stuff, unless like he didn't have to dominate. And Steph feels like the best of both worlds. Like he could just turn into Kobe and eviscerate you, but he's always like high-fiving a guy. Like, is that Choriza? Like, who the fuck's he hyping up? There was a moment yesterday where there was like a breakaway where he fucking shot out to the left side and DiVincenzo fucking hits him in stride.
Yeah.
And he starts screaming at him to ultimately have him turn around and give him a big fucking high five. Like, great, smart play. It's like he's Duncan and Kobe combined. Because he can just score 35 a game with ease. At 35 years old. That's the other thing. He's 35. Like, part of why LeBron gets credit.
He's not falling off at all.
Bill Simmons thought, is this the best version of Steph? Not the best stats or whatever, but like this, he's a dominant when he drives.
I remember thinking 2 years ago or last year, we were seeing the best version, whatever year it was, the best version. Like I think one thing that would make Simmons right is he's in every year that has passed, he's in better. He is never in worse shape he has not had a season yet where he's in worse shape than the year before. Right.
Do you watch sometimes?
So that alone to me is like, that's a big part of the game. It's like he spends so much time just running in circles. It's insane.
He never looks tired. But there was a play late in the game yesterday where I'm not pretending to be fucking, Nick Nurse here, but Fox clearly went under the screen. He wasn't even close to Steph. Steph hit it. And you could just tell De'Aaron Fox, who is probably like top 5 in shape guy in the NFL or NBA, is just gassed. I mean, he's like, this is exhausting. And it's like, Steph wasn't even huffing and puffing. Now, maybe they run a little more consistently, right? The Warriors are less likely to just sprint up and down.
Yeah.
Now, Steph does once they get into half court.
Yeah.
Kind of does the.
Yeah.
It's weird because he plays. He like turns into Kobe or some great scorer, but he also has this element of like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, where it's like there's just never been anything quite like there never has.
Well, think about like Simmons'
Is he just
point.
really Magic Larry? Like if you just wanted to be like Magic Larry, Steph, like if that was your three, wherever they are, like 4, 5, 6, right?
Right.
Because what they meant to basketball, big picture, like it was dying. They saved it. If you wanted to keep them above, I'm not going to argue, and I didn't really watch.
Steph's had a pretty incredible value to this league, the sport too. Steph has changed this, right? Like they
Would
had
you say
that
he's
was
their equivalent? Like he's them?
Well, I would say it's different, right? Like their cultural impact was what you just described. Steph's cultural impact is he's changed the way the game is played, starting in like, whatever age kids are old enough to throw the ball further than the free throw line. Steph has changed the way the game is played. The entire sport changed because of him. So he's had his own major impact, right? That I think is equal to or greater than Magic or Larry's, what they did together. So I don't think he is not second to them in cultural impact on the sport.
Yeah. He ain't done either.
Well, but anyway, but to the Simmons point is like, he's only more skilled, right? His skills haven't diminished, right? His fitness hasn't diminished. He only gets smarter. So why wouldn't he be I agree. He is the best version of himself right now. And as long as he is physically not getting worse, then it's going to continue.
Well, now with Fox's injury, and let's just assume he's not, even if he's 80%, the Kings would be in major trouble. A lot of credit for the guy, right? In the history of the Warriors, most top players kind of, when I say top players, like all NBA type guys crumble against the Warriors or do not do as well as they do in the regular season beside like Kawhi, LeBron. It's a short list. Harden's never as good. Chris Paul's never as good. Like all these guys kind of shit the bed relative to their greatness against like the Magic, in the regular season. Fox has been incredible. But if they win this series now, they'll be favored against the Lakers. They'll have home court against the Lakers, right? Because they're the 6, the Lakers are the 7. Then they probably get like Denver or the Suns that have no bench. What if he wins the championship again? Last year was crazy. This year would be pretty improbable.
This year would be crazier. Especially given now, if Fox is healthy, given the way this series has looked, right? Just start with that. Like this series is in now. If Fox isn't healthy, which like you said, like he's not right now. It changes things. But I didn't feel like game 2 ended. I was screaming at my phone watching it, but I didn't. After that game ended, I didn't feel like, okay, the Warriors are definitely winning this series now. I just felt like if they had lost, then they would definitely. I thought we're going to lose the series, right? Duh. But it still, to me, was a 50-50 series when that game ended, as far as I was concerned. Now, the Fox injury changes it, but the Kings are right there.
But there's a chance this is their toughest matchup.
Yeah.
Because the Lakers do not move up and down like this.
Do not play like this.
And listen, not a huge fan of the guy anymore, but you watch LeBron, he is not nearly as quick as he once was. Like, it's pretty noticeable, even now, relative. He had like this under dunk the other day. He does not fly like he once flies. He doesn't move like he once. He's still great, and his stats are awesome. He is not the guy that the Warriors used to see in Cleveland. It makes sense. He's fucking our age. I mean, there's a big difference between 35 and 38, 39, right? I mean, It's just, and you're starting to, like Rui Hachimura, he's going to light up the Warriors.
Reeves.
Who actually?
Did you
know? Did you hear his nickname?
What's his nickname?
Hillbilly Kobe.
Where's he from?
Arkansas.
That's such a good nickname. Where did he play college ball?
Arkansas, I think.
Arkansas. Did you see? I watched Dante DiVincenzo's interview with Evan Turner and Iguodala. And one of his things, like Iguodala asked him, like, is it awkward being the only white guy on a team? Like when that happens, like being white, and he's like, no, I prefer being the only white guy on the team. In fact, if there's another white guy on the team, I have to go to him and let him know that I'm the team's white guy. He's like, I told Ty Jerome, you're not white, you're light skinned, so I can be the only white guy on the team.
This has to be one of the first playoff series in the internet age with two redheaded guys. Assuming Dante is redheaded. Well,
who's the other redhead?
Herder's redder.
Oh, Herder, yeah. Two redheads. Yeah, I was watching this redheaded comedian the other day. I was watching that show Dave. You ever seen that show? With the guy who's like the rapper Lil Dicky. It's on FX and Hulu.
No.
It's a pretty great show. It's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
But there's a redhead on the show. He's like, he's a comedian who you'd probably recognize. He's like, we are the only ethnicity that it's still appropriate to make fun of. We're the only one.
It's true.
Santino, yeah, is that the guy's name? The actor? If you saw his name. I mean, if you saw his face, you would recognize him. Anyway, yeah, check that out. Brock on New Heights with Jason. New Heights? Is that what it's called?
I think
Kelsey Pod? Is it called New Heights?
Well, they're from New Heights, I think. Isn't
that the name of the podcast, right? New Heights?
Yeah, wherever they're from.
The Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, at first, I did not connect with me at first. Like, he's on promoting Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, damn, they got Brock on this podcast?
Yeah.
But
slinging cheeseburgers, bro.
Did not ask him about Trey Lance.
Didn't really ask him about anything substantial about what's currently going on. They don't even care. They don't care.
No, they're not here to break news. That thing's doing that thing's doing 600,000 views whether they ask him about the hottest news or not. Maybe 1.5 million.
It'll do. I wonder, what do you think that's at right now?
Well, it's probably been up for less. It's been up probably for 12 hours. I'm gonna guess 300,000 views. No, 250.
No, I mean it's only at 47K.
How long's it been up?
8 hours. It went up this morning.
Okay. Doing well though.
You know what did pretty big for them is, and I've seen a bunch of clips on my shorts, is the Shannon Sharp. Looks like their highest rated video yet.
When was that? I didn't see that one.
That would have been like 2 weeks ago podcast.
All right, anything else? Look for Middlecoff behind the Warrior bench at the game. Warriors Kings, game 5. What are you going to be wearing?
I don't know. Casual something.
So not King. You're not going Kings Warriors.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Bob Myers, the cowbell guy, was sitting right like a row. My buddy Scotty Rayburn went similar seat, and he said Bob Myers was right behind him. Aisha was right in front of him. It is in the Warrior section. If I could do it over again, I probably would have put myself in the heart of the Kings people. But I don't know. We'll see how this thing shakes out.
I wonder if E40 is going to be there with you.
Could. I mean, that'd be good for business.
Yeah, that's where he was sitting, right?
That's a good question. I didn't even see him the day.
He was by the Warrior bench.
Yeah.
The game he got ejected in sack.
And listen, like I am pro sack, but like with Fox hurt now, I'm sorry you guys can't beat the Lakers, and that's I am more in tune with it about knocking their fucking ass out than any crowning winning a first round series here, guys. I cannot have the Kings winning this series and then losing the Lakers. That is not acceptable for me. I can't, because then it just I can't have LeBron getting another real ring. That's just
right.
And people are dropping like flies. Giannis is back. Embiid's knees messed up. I mean, it's starting to open like this, the Red Sea here.
Who knows if Chris Paul will make it 2 more series?
They got nobody. Like all 4 of those guys play like 42 minutes a game in the first round against Russell Westbrook. I mean, they could run out of juice.
Yeah.